Hi everyone, welcome to the Matchbook Horse Racing Podcast. This is the one we're doing after our Cheltenham preview, so it feels a little lower key. It feels a little bit more familiar with some excellent guests we've got. Real pals on this one, Micheál Deasy and Steve Jones. They're looking really well wherever they are in the world, and we're going to be tackling three different tracks for you. We've got Kelso, we've got Newbury, and we got Donny. Good racing at Kelso. And we'll get stuck into that first of all. We'll do it track by track because we think that makes life easier for you to follow, we hope. But do feedback to us if you'd rather we went in ITV Racing running order. Let us know. We're happy. We're here to help, whatever works best for people. So do give us your feedback. Like and subscribe, however you are listening or watching as well. It's the best no-cost way of supporting our podcast. First up then, the 110 at Kelso, 2 mile, 1 furlong handicap chase. It's not the biggest field. It wasn't for me. I'm sitting it out. But Steve and DC, as you do on a few, agree. Steve Jones, welcome back. Take it away.
Yeah, well, thank you, Tom. That's very kind of you. Halloween. Look, I'm not massive on the price. I think if you want the most likely winner, I think it's Halloween, who won one of the big end of season novice hurdle handicap finals at Sandown on the last day of the season last season. BeGambleAware, who's causing a lot of interest for the Cheltenham Festival in the handicaps there of Scoutons, but loads of winners further back. So it was a hot race. It's taken a little while to warm to fences, but it's been behind Vincenzo the last twice at Windsor and Sandown. Hasn't been finishing his races, but if the problem has been the breathing, I think A, the drying ground, and B, he's had a breathing operation that might just sort him out, and he's going to get a nice lead into it from Real Stone, who won from a pretty prominent position at Wetherby last time. So, yeah, I'm not mad about the price, but I think he's the most likely winner, Helmy.
DC, you agree, bud?
Yeah, I think he's run into one in his 3 runs this season. Like, I mean, the best run he got was the first run where he ran into Telepathy, Lucy Wadham's horse, who was now rated 148, and he got within 4.5 lengths of her, giving her loads of weight. So, yeah, I think John just covered it. I think there's a lot in his favour today. He's a sharp price, but he should be good enough to beat the rest of these.
All right, the Premier Chase is up next, and we're sitting it out because we have no bet in it. Obviously, you've got Dan Skelton's horse, who's a real warm order towards the top of that market, Grey Dawning, but 1.8 or so. We're leaving that alone. We're only putting up bets. That feels like the sensible thing to do. So we are moving on to the 220, 2 mile 5 handicap hurdle. Well, you two agree again. DC first up this time.
Yeah, you're going for Bo Light. Lucinda's horse. He won on New Year's Day very, very well. Absolutely skated home in Musselburgh in a handicap hurdle off 116. And after the race, they were very sweet on him for, they said, the Scottish County Hurdle or something of that ilk. Ran the last time behind Intense Approach in a Stairs Novice Hurdle, but just didn't get home over 3 miles. I think it was too far. I think this is a perfect distance for him. Ground will be fine. He is a nice price as well. He's about 8.5. There's a few shorties there at the top of the market, but I think he's a cracking bet if you want to go win only. And you could also cover your win bet with a place with him, because I could see him definitely hitting the top 3. I think there's not much confidence.
Sorry, D.
Yeah.
Steve.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the trip was a bit far last time, like Dee said, but I don't think the race set up for his style anyway. It was a small field. It was one from the front by Intense Approach, who was entitled to do exactly what he did on the form that they'd shown, because that was a novice hurdle. If you go back to the handicap, his only handicap, he bolted up at Musselburgh, and I thought the track was a bit sharp for him. So beating horses like Ballygeary and Liari especially, I thought that was really good. And the previous to that, he'd run over 2 miles in a grade 2. Well, he's not sharp enough for that. So I think everything's coming together into a handicap again. Should get a decent pace to aim at, and the right trip. And also he's got Jack Power on, who's a £7 conditional jockey, who's pretty good. It's certainly value for that claim. So lots in the favour of Bold Light. And I was a little bit surprised about the price, pleasantly surprised this time.
I was interested in 2, and the reason I went put up Nad Wood is because Bold Light was the other one, and you guys went for it. The angle with both of them is about the pace, but in particular with Nad Wood, who's a previous course winner. I like horses for courses here, and I mean last time that was Haydock, that was over 3 miles. Who knows what would have happened because the horse unseated at the third. Prior to that, the horse was in good form at Ayr when running really well. But I think the return here might just be exactly what he wants. He's going to get lots of pace to aim at. He's going to test at the trip, which is certainly what he wants. He's back in distance from his last success at the track. And I'd much rather have him on side at around about 8.0. The yard had another recent double the other day at Newcastle. Obviously, Famous Bridge won one of the big races at Haydock recently. So they're going along really nicely. And I thought Nab Wood at 8.0 was a very fair win place shout in a 10-runner field. I don't dislike Bold Light either. 255 is the Premier Novices Hurdle. Don't mind, chaps, if I kick off here. It's my strongest opinion of the day. And that is that Van der Poel will go and score here at 4.33. I really like this horse. Hello, Peter, who says it's the old gang. I think I'm going to cry. Oh, welcome along, Peter. Racing Lee's with us as well. Morning, lads. 3 top judges. Have a great weekend. He doesn't mean that about Steve, but he has to say that. Dale's with us as well. Donny has a good card. Queensbury boy in the first. Really fancy this one. Dale, I like how you just stick up bets. I'm going to just follow you in. Welcome along, everyone. Anyway, right, Van der Poel. I think this horse is going to end up in a grade 1 at Aintree. I think he's really, really smart. And I think he is a better horse than Chart Topper. Now, I know that Willie Mullins, it has to be respected, of course, but I think Willie Mullins is here with his D team and Ben Pauling's here with his A team. And Ben Pauling's A team is well worth respecting with this sort of horse. I was mega impressed with what he did at Huntingdon when they'd hardly had him, and I don't think he was really very ready. And he did it easy last time. All right, he was silly price, but I think he should be a massively clear favourite, and I think he will go and win this, and then he'll be a top level horse. I'm a massive fan. And I think he should be way shorter than he is. So Van der Poel for me, Steve.
Yeah, I can't decide who you'd be in the A team because you're obviously our leader, so you'd have to be Hannibal Smith. But you're the pretty boy, so you'd have to be the face as well. So I'm a bit torn between. But I'm not torn on this.
I wouldn't be B.A. Baracus because I have no problem getting on planes, obviously. Thank you. Go on. Go, Steve.
Jet to Vegas, Lucinda Russell again. I mean, this is a hot race. This is a deep race. It's quite often a pretty hot contest and throws up some decent horses. But this year, I think there's a lot of, all bar 2 of the 10 runners won last time out, and Jet Vegas won last time out. Now, he's going to have to step up on what he's shown. He won at Ayr last time over 2 miles. Previous to that, he was beaten half a length at Mossborough over 2.5. So this 2-2, I think, is ideal. He travels really well. So I think he can handle the stronger grade. The way he travels, I was pretty impressed with. And this bigger field, stronger pace, stronger race, take him into it a bit further. He's been progressing nicely. And I think if he takes another step forward, I think he can run really well. Win in place. About 26, I think.
Ooh, price, Dees.
Yeah, I agree about Van der Poel, to be honest. And like Ben Pauling is a 55% strike rate in the last 2 weeks. It's unbelievable. But I wanted to go for something at a bigger price. I kind of had my eye on this horse for a while, but road less travelled. John Joss horse now, he's giving away £7 to the field, which is making things even harder. But I thought that he looked really good at Haydock over just under 2 miles in November. He beat Country Mile, he beat our horse Ball Light as well, one that we've tipped up there for in a race previous. Just going away from them, and he was thrown into the Formby at yeah, he ran in the Farm B at the entry. He was weak in the market and pulled up. I think it was probably just too hard a contest for him. And again, he was entered in the Dove Cut as well a few weeks ago. So they obviously think he's a serious horse. He has he's a bit to do with the weights, but I think he's a decent price. He's 12.0. So I would happily have him win place. I know he's got a tough job at the weights, and there could be one or two in there, but I can see him running a big race. I think it's a big price, so I'd stick him up. More or less travelled.
Okay. It's three different ones in that. Also at Kelso, we have the Moor Battle, which is obviously a 100-grand bonus race. Unsurprising that Emmett Mullins got one in there. He did it with the Shunter a few years ago and went on to win the plate. 3 different horses going up. These straight back at you. We've all got prices here. You're with Willful.
Yeah, I'm hoping Janjo has a good day up there.
Yeah.
Willful, most of his form is good form was over 2 miles. They stepped him up and tripped the last time. He was last seen finishing 6 lengths behind Altobelli in the Holloway's handicap hurdle at Ascot. Altobelli subsequently won again after that. I think the 2 miles 3 was probably stretched him out a bit too much. This is going to be down to the bare 2 miles on good ground. I think that'll suit him. I think he won't be stretched out as much. And again, he's a decent enough price. He's 13.0, and I'm looking forward to seeing what Petrolhead does as well. He's an extra on a McNally horse, so it's lots of interesting form. If you look back at him, he's with Neil Mulholland now, but I wouldn't be touching with money just yet. But Willful will be the main one, yeah.
So I'm trying to get hold of Neil Mulholland for the Nick Luck Daily podcast this morning, and I was going to put him up, but I genuinely want to speak to Neil first, just to get an idea, maybe even off the record, of what on earth they're expecting, because it wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me.
Yeah, he'd be able to be 4 to 1 or 400 to 1 at the start of the race. There's nothing in between.
I could easily back Vicio, to be honest. I was really impressed with her last time, and I could see her being better than a mark 133. I'm a massive fan of Tell Her the Name as a horse. Obviously, early days for the new yard, but this is much more realistic than the last 2 runs. So I could back Petrolhead. I can see a case for Florida Dreams, and there's loads. So how confident I am with my selection, Slugger was just the biggest price really of the lot. So that's why I've gone for Slugger. But I did think, Slugger's almost priced up on account of having won 3, and it's like, well, he's gone up 112 to 130, so maybe he's not going to have as much in hand. But I don't know, you do worse than backing a horse at 15.0 that's on a 4-timer for a new yard. So, I've been really impressed with what he's done, the way he's done it so far. I mean, there's going to be pace on here, and he'll be up there, but he's a previous course and distance winner as well. So I think it was Farine Jardine. There's loads to be positive about. And 15.0, he was one of all of those I could definitely back, who was bigger than I thought he should be. Steve.
Me?
Steve.
Thank you. Florida Dreams for me, who won the Grade 2 bumper at Aintree a couple of years ago, and so clearly has a bit of class. It's taken a little while to warm to hurdles, but it's had some stiff tasks. Ran in that Form B Novices hurdle, the Grade 1 last season, and this season kicked off winning at Hexham, and I think that's significant because Hexham's a very stiff track, and I just think after running pretty well in the Great Wood at Cheltenham, was just a bit outspeeded in the closing stages by quicker horses, but then ran at Aintree over 2.5 on soft ground, and soft ground's not really his thing. And then last time just found Musselburgh a little bit sharp, and a mistake 2 out sort of ended him when he was trying to get in there. But I think the stiffer track, fast, decent gallop, and with Nicky Richards' horses in good form, really good form, I think everything's coming together for Florida Dreams. There's certainly cases to say that he's still well handicapped, and at a decent price in what is a very open race. I think Florida Dreams, I really fancy him. I think he's going to he's definitely going to improve on what he's shown, I think. And at 13, I think he's got a great chance, really good chance.
All right, that's the Moor battle done. We move on to Newbury. We've got the Veterans Handicap Chase. Just Steve and I with selections here. Steve, take it away first of all.
Yeah, I'm going to take a bit of a chance in this one. And it's a chance because it's Quick Wave, who hasn't been seen for an awful long time. Not since winning the Grand National trial at Haydock 2 years ago. That would put most people off. But he is a horse that wins fresh. That was off the back of 53 days. Okay, but his previous 2 wins, which came in the London National at Sandown, that was off the back of nearly a year off. And also his previous win at Ludlow was off the back of 300 odd days. So he's a horse that goes fresh. By definition, the Veterans Chases, they're full of exposed horses. So I don't get too wrapped up with handicap marks in that. And the likes of Credo, well, Credo just fell into a race at Exeter because they went so fast in that race. And was given a really good ride by Harry Cobden. Whether they'll go that fast again, because all the pace seems to revolve around Anthony Honeyball with Gustavian and Sam Brown. And I don't think they want to really play team tactics in that regard. So I'm going to take a chance with Quick Wave.
I'm going to go with one of the anti-Hannibal horses, Chad Bavant on board. He gets on well with the horse. He went close at market raising a couple of starts ago when just touched off by Copperhead. And then last time, it was the Denman. It was a very different kettle of fish. The horse is a course and distance winner. I know he's carrying top weight, but at 6.0, I'd rather have him on side than the stable companion Credo. Take the point about last time. I thought Gustavian ran a really good race last time, but Sam Brown is the biggest of the lot. And if you go back to his market raising form, he'd have I think a better chance than 6.0 would suggest back in Veterans company. Greatwood Gold Cup next. That's the 3:45 at Newbury. Deasy, take it away. Come in again.
Sorry. It's Vincenzo for Sam Thomas. Again, another horse, I think, that he's been progressive all year, but I think there's plenty more to come from him. He is stepping up in trip today, so he's completely unexposed at this distance. Most of his winning has been done at 2 miles there. He's won twice this season. The last time he won by 3 1/4 lengths at Sandown, and what really stood out to me was that excuse me, at the second Lance Fest he was 5 lengths down. He ended up winning by 3.5 lengths. He absolutely ran away from them. So Sandown is a lot stiffer finish, but he has nobody's a nice flat track. He has speed to get around the bends and the sharpness of it. He's 8.0. Now, maybe you should mind your bets in this because Oroco's in here, and if Oroco goes for the race at Doncaster, he's in or up at Kelso, there'll be a big rule for in this. So I'll probably hang on until final decks, but I really like Vincenzo. I think there's a lot more to come from him. And Sam Thomas again is at a 50% strike rate in the last 2 weeks, so his horses are flying.
Okay, Steve, who are you with in the Greatwood Gold Cup?
Yeah, it's such a tough race. I couldn't help have a go at it, and I've come down on Cop Mask, who doesn't tend to run many races on soft ground, but his record on soft ground is pretty unbelievable. He won at Sandown and Plumpton around this time last season. It was good to soft, but soft in places at Ascot when he won just before Christmas. Last time it didn't happen for him at Ascot, and that form was turned around with Scarface, who he has got good form with. He beat Scarface previously, but last time he was hampered at the first and he never got into a rhythm because of it. And I'm quite happy to give him a pass on that. And on his previous win around Ascot, I think Cop Mask is in there with a sporty shout, but there are a load in there with equal claims. But I just think he might just be overpriced. So Cop Mask is.
I like Billy the Real Big Red, who there's lots of pace on sure. But that doesn't mean that he's, doesn't mean that they're all going to kill each other up top. It's a massive day for the yard. Obviously, Irokes looks like he's going elsewhere. And Billy the Real Big Red bumped into Jaguar last time for the yard, who I'm a big fan of. Wherever that horse turns up at the festival, looks like it's going to be the intermediate. Now back to a handicap chase. And I do think I know he won at Exeter. I do think he's probably better going this way. I think he wants to go left-handed. I don't mind if you can get a rhythm round here. I don't mind you being on the lead. He's only 5. I think he could be a lot better than a mark of 134. As I say, my slight concern is the amount of possible pace on, and I don't think they want to change up how they ride this horse, because he seems to definitely be better going forward. But if I'm looking for the best treated horse in the race, I think it's probably him, Billy the Real Big Red. Doncaster then, Just You, Micheál Deasy in the Mare's Novice at 205.
And the one I like is Miss Cynthia, Lucy Wadham's horse. She finished second to a horse I think is really good called That's Nice. It is a JP horse. She's with Nicky Henderson. They both went into my tracker that day. I thought that was a good race. That was a Warwick there a few weeks ago. She has since come out and won in a handicap debut. Got up there. I was running off 109. This is a listed race now. They're all going for black type here. I just think she's a decent price there at 7.5. I think that she's good form there behind that Henderson horse. So I think could be really good. And a few of these are kind of fairly exposed, I think. So she's actually one of my stronger bets of the day. I think there's a lot more to come from her.
All right, that's Miss Cynthia in the Mare's Novice, one of DC's stronger bets on the day. Steve and I are with Rare Edition in the 2 mile handicap chase. I don't know if you'd told me, even before his run at Ascot, which I thought was good behind the Venetia horse, I'd be tipping this horse up. I wouldn't have thought that was very sensible, but I can really see it, Steve. I think this is absolutely ideal for the horse. 5.5. I'm very happy to have him on side.
He's definitely got the ability to win this. He was second when he was odds on in the Sydney Banks as a novice, and then went to Cheltenham for the Supreme and then Aintree, and it didn't happen for him there. But that's the kind of level he was operating at as a novice. And he made a winning chase debut when on good ground. When he jumped well, he raced prominently. It was only 3 runners. And I thought then that he might kick on from there. He ran well at Ascot, second start behind Buxy Day Appears. And the form of that hasn't really gone on. So he was disappointing last time again at Ascot, but that was a grade 2, albeit it wasn't a great one. But I think the key with Rare Edition, I think he does like decent ground. He has had a breathing operation. He's got cheek pieces on. But the thing I like the most is that Charlie Longston, who I think is a streaky trainer, he's either in form or he's out of form. He's very, very much in form at the moment. He's had a really good February. And if Rare Edition runs up to his best and his potential, he'll win, I think.
All of that. Yeah. I like it more and more after hearing you. Dees.
I like Home Public. He's a horse I have backed a lot over the years. I'm say Cliff horse. He's a decent horse. Won 3 times out chasing and 5 times hurdling. He's had a bit of a strange season. So he started off last year very well. He'd 2 wins, one at Cheltenham in the November meeting and a second at Christmas at Ascot. Chasing, kind of fell out of love with it at the end of the season. Didn't run well in the entry in the spring. He went chasing in the start of the season at Shepstone, finished nowhere, and he's had 3 runs over hurdles since. This means that he's the same mark hurdling and chasing. I think it's significant that Henry Brook is back on today. He's had a claimer on twice this year. The one time Henry Brook rode him, he won a handicap hurdle beating Darjanini. Henry Brook is back on. They are trying some headgear for the first time as well. He's great record at Doncaster. He's 2 out of 3 there, hurdling and chasing. I think they'll have had this lined up for a while. And again, he's a nice price. He's 8.5. So yeah, can't probably.
That's the 240 at Donny. Then the Grinthorpe, the 315. I'm going with We've All Been Caught, who I don't know, he keeps chopping his cheese. He's gone back to Twiston now. And then he won last time. Who the hell knew? Maybe it wasn't the deepest of races, but I'm looking at his mark in the 130s and thinking, like, yeah, he's still really well treated. I can see it. And maybe now he's got his head in front. Maybe this is stupid because it's We've All Been Caught. But maybe now he's got his head back in front. Like, I can see him just going and winning this easy. I'm convinced he's a really well treated horse. Track's got to be a plus now, and he's 8.0. So yeah, I'm going to have him on side. We've All Been Caught 8.0 to go and do it at Donny again. Steve.
Yeah, and another really competitive race, which is great to see. But it's on good ground, and that's just what Twig wants. I know he was second to Chianti Classico on heavy ground in the Ultima at last season's Cheltenham Festival. But his best forms come on good ground after a break, and he's not been seen since New Year's Day. He hasn't really had his ground. He's been running over hurdles this season, and he hasn't really had his ground, or what I consider to be his ground. And even though he's got top weight, and you couldn't say he was thrown in handicap-wise, Ben Pauling's team, obviously in sensational form. Bo Morgan takes off £5. He's the regular rider of Twig because his parents own Twig, so that's no surprise. But he's a really good jockey and well worth his claim. So yeah, in another open race, I'm going to go for Twig at a double figure price.
And DC.
Can I bring up? Here we go.
Here we go.
Basically the same as what Dale has said here. I like the nip hand, win place. He covers it very well there. He's a great record at Doncaster. This is his first season chasing. He's progressive enough chasing. He's won twice, come second and third this year. He's at the bottom of the weights. I think he was thrown in the last time. He finished third to Manbeg Genius in Richmond Lake at Utoxeter. I think that was probably just a bit of a shock to him. He tried taking the man in the front and just ended up failing in the end, finishing third. But look, that'll have been good experience for him. Again, look, he's a nice weight here. This race tends to go to either bottom weights or top weights. If you look back over the years, Nigel Twiston-Davies has trained the winner of it before, which was under supervision when he was 6. I just thought there's plenty in this that have a chance. There was probably 5 or 6 on my shortlist, but I kept coming back to this guy. So I won with the nip hand, and I'm glad to see Dale is following me in.
Good luck, Dale. Good luck, Deese. 3 in the Grimthorpe. Right, any other bets? I'll get mine out of the way because it's more sensible. Well, maybe it's not. Muzaffar in the 431 at Doncaster. Now, I don't know the price, but it's going to be big. It was a massive price last time. Watch the race back. He's got Brian. Has he got Brian Hughes on board here? He's got a non-claimer on. I know that. And he's early day. Yeah, Brian Hughes on board for Adrian Keatley. I think there'll be a day with this horse, and I'm hoping it's today. But I don't know the price. But it's got to be big. Like it just has to be. I think it'll start big anyway. Hopefully we see some money for the horse. Right, Deese, I don't even know what sport this is.
This is the League of Ireland, the greatest league in the world. It's back. Cork City are playing Bows at home tonight. I'll be in the Turner's Cross Tavern about 6 o'clock if anyone wants to come in and buy me a pint. But over 2.5 is about 2.5 goals, about 2.35. Both teams are fairly stacked up front and have useless defences. Market hasn't caught on to this. They were generally low score in the last 2 seasons, but 2.35 is a great price. I'd say that it could end up 2-all or 3-all or 4-all. So there you go.
And I don't really know what any of that means. And Daniel Hussey, our producer, says my bet is Shells to beat Shamrock Rovers at 2.75.
Yeah.
The Moose will score for Bows. I mean, it's good. The League of Ireland. Yes. What? So you have the League of Ireland. You got the All Ireland final.
This is football, soccer.
Share it around.
Soccer, as the Americans would call it. Yeah. The All-Ireland final is
It's a bit
a
loose
different
to
thing.
score for Bowes. That's
Least
good.
it's Least Musa. He played up front for Bournemouth there a couple of seasons ago in the league, and Sheffield United, and now he's with Bowes in Dublin. So things haven't gone great for him.
Right, Matchbook Zero long shot goes live an hour before each race. You're most likely to get best odds given that there's zero margin, zero commission. So check it out for a win bet. Muzaffar for me in the 431 at Donny. I don't know the price yet, but it's got to be big. Steve.
Jet to Vegas in the 255 at Kelso.
And DC.
It would have been the road less travelled in the 255 in Kelso. We have to do different races. So I'm going for Wilful in the Moor Battle, 13.0, half 3 Kelso.
Okay, best bets. Mine's Vanderpool in the novices hurdle 255 at Kelso. Strong opinion. Steve.
Florida's Dreams in the 330 at Kelso, the Moor Battle hurdle.
And DC.
Home Public in the 240 Doncaster.
Tremendous stuff. Well done, everyone. Thanks for all your comments throughout this podcast. Makes it fly by for us. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy all of our content. We will chat to you again soon. Keep your eye out for the Handicap podcast, Cheltenham Handicap podcast next week. Bye-bye.